3 days without rest, yet he still runs. The hunters whispered in fear. We're the prey now. The hunt began at dawn on the first day. A dozen Carthian scouts spread across the ridge lines, their exosuits blending with the shifting dunes. They were apex trackers, bred for war, trained for pursuit. Their prey was a human named Kale Ren, a fugitive soldier, a survivor of a war the Carthians believed long over. They expected it to be quick. Humans were fragile, flesh too soft, bones too weak. A man could not outrun them for long. Not across the scorching wastes of Droskin, a world where even the sand burned by midday. By the end of the first day, though, their commander frowned. The humans still ran. Part 1. The first day. Kale's lungs burned, his muscles screamed, and the sun hammered against his skin. But he didn't stop. He knew what it meant to stop. He had been hunted before. Every step was agony, but he had been trained to turn pain into rhythm. His heart beat like a war drum. One foot, then the other. Breath shallow, but steady. He moved through canyons, across ravines, always leaving false trails, always listening for the hiss of Carthian blades. Behind him, the scouts tracked his every move. Their commander, a scarred veteran named Thren, grew irritated. He should be dead already, Thren muttered. One of his scouts, younger and sharper, adjusted his visor. Commander, he's not running from us. He's leading us. Thren barked a laugh. A man alone? Impossible. But doubt lingered. Part 2. The second day. By the second day, exhaustion should have broken the human. Instead, it broke the hunters. The heat clawed at their suits. Their rations dwindled. Worse, the prey struck back. At dusk, one scout failed to report in. When they found him, his visor was shattered, throat cut. No sign of struggle, only precision. Human precision. The others grew uneasy. He turned. One whispered. He doubled back. Thren silenced them with a glare, but unease spread like infection. They were no longer chasing a desperate man. They were walking into his war. Kale moved in shadows, using the terrain the way he had once used ruined cities in wartime. Every ridge was a sniper's nest. Every canyon a trap. He remembered his unit's last stand, how the Carthians had burned them alive. He remembered swearing he would never stop fighting. Now, alone, he became his own unit, his own war. Part 3. The third day. By the third day, the scouts whispered when they thought their commander couldn't hear. He should have collapsed. No man can keep running. Unless he isn't prey. At dawn, 2 more hunters vanished. The squad found their armor scattered like husks, their blood black in the sand. Thren clenched his jaw. Rage warred with fear. He had hunted humans before. They broke easily. They screamed, they begged. But this one, this Kale Ren, ran with something more than endurance. He ran with purpose. And then came the moment. One scout, trembling, scanned the horizon. Commander, it's not us hunting him. His voice cracked. It's him hunting us. Thren turned sharply and froze. On the ridge above, silhouetted against the sun, stood Kale. His body was battered, eyes hollow with exhaustion, but steady. In his hands was a blade torn from one of their fallen. And he was smiling. Part 4. Predator and Prey. The hunters became the hunted. Kale struck with feral precision, appearing and vanishing like a ghost. He didn't need to kill them all at once, just enough to spread terror. A cut wire here, a sabotaged pack there. Their own tech turned against them. At night, he whispered from the dark. Old soldiers' tricks. Taunts. Names of the ones he'd killed, spoken back to their comrades. The Carthians were apex predators. Yet now, they huddled together, waiting for death. Sleep abandoned them. Fear consumed them. And still Kale ran. 3 days without rest, body screaming for relief, mind sharpened into something primal. He wasn't human anymore, not in their eyes. He was the ghost of war, the relentless rhythm of survival given form. Part 5. The Last Stand. By sunset of the 3rd day, only 3 scouts remained, including Thren. They staggered through the canyon, every shadow a threat. Then Kale came. Not from above, not from behind. He walked straight into their path. His face was cracked with dust, lips split with thirst, but his eyes burned. He held the stolen blade steady. Thren raised his weapon, but his hands trembled. For the first time in his long career, he felt something alien. Fear. The youngest scout dropped his rifle and whispered, "We're the prey now." Kale lunged. The canyon echoed with steel and screams. When silence fell, only Kale remained, standing over the bodies of the hunters. He swayed, every fiber of his body begging for rest. But he didn't collapse. Not yet. Because somewhere beyond the dunes, more enemies waited. And Kale Ren was not done hunting. Epilogue. Later, when the Carthian fleets heard the tale, they dismissed it as rumor. No human could outrun scouts for 3 days. No human could kill them all. But the whispers spread. Of the soldier, who never stopped running. Of the prey, who became predator. Of the man who turned fear against his hunters. And when Carthians spoke of humans after that, their tone had changed. Because now they knew, humans didn't just survive. Humans hunted.